Hello and welcome to Crypto Interviews. My name is Claudio and this is CryptoChain, the channel where I do cryptocurrency news, reviews, demos, interviews, and blockchain games reviews. And today I've got John McAfee once again, and this time we're going to be talking about McAfee Decks, the decentralized exchange, freedom for all, everyone in the world. John, welcome once again, and how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you. I always enjoy talking to you, so energetic. I don't know whether this is natural for you or because you have a healthy diet. If you're taking methamphetamines, but it's very pleasant.
No, definitely not. It's just part of my personality, trying to be like that.
All right.
Cool. So we're gonna be talking about McAfee Decks in this interview, and actually the first thing I want to know is why did you create McAfee Decks?
Because nobody else would. I mean, I've been for over 3 years, on almost in every country in the world during conferences, crypto conferences, blockchain conferences, saying the same thing. People, we get away from centralized dexes, else the governments will shut us down. I promise you. I mean, China shut down every exchange in China 2 years ago, overnight. Why? They all had addresses. They all had employees. They know exactly where they were. Easy. I'm going, if you think that in the future we have privacy coins that can evade taxation and widespread use by criminals, and who cares? Criminals use every fucking technology. We should be proud this is going to be the mix, and this terrifies governments, and they're not going to let this happen. But they have no power. Do you understand? If we have decentralized exchanges where no one's controlling it, so they can't go anywhere to shut it down, and it's distributed, so it's all over the world. We already have 30 different portals up all over the world. Can't be shut down. I kept saying it over, and please God, we have to have it. We have to. It's urgent. Well, people attempted it, but nothing worked. That was most disappointing. So a year and a half ago, I said, fuck it, I'm going to do it myself. And I did. Now, it is the first truly decentralized and distributed exchange. We asked for no information. We don't want your name or your email or no documentation, nothing. Just come through the portal and start trading. Our logic is on the blockchains and smart contracts, so that, as we all know, if it's on the blockchain, it is not getting removed, is it?
Exactly.
So it's there. I can't take it down. So when the SEC and the IRS, if they ever get their hands on me, and they're certainly trying, if they ever do catch me, at least my one defense is, I didn't know you guys wanted that. No one told me. But I'm sorry, it's too late now. I have nothing I can do.
It's already done.
Right. Now, we charge nothing to list a coin or token. Nothing. Binance charges anywhere from $75,000 on up. If you want to list a coin on ours, you hit Add Token, the button at the top of the page, fill out all the technical specs, and you list it. And that's it. We have currently, we started with Ethereum, and we're still in beta, by the way. Don't consider this our real product yet. We started with Ethereum. We added Tron a few days ago. We'll be adding Binance, Neo, and EOS before the end of the year. But even then, it's not going to be that useful. It will not be useful until our production release, which includes cross-chain transactions. And you can trade a Neo for an Ethereum and Ethereum for whoever you want. Then it will become real, and it will be truly the most usable and private DEX in the world, and one that just can't be shut down or monitored because there's nothing to monitor.
And this is one of the things I actually wanted to ask you about, because I know you've been tweeting a lot about Switch Decks before you came up with McAfee Decks, and I actually went to Switch Decks and I've noticed that it's almost similar to McAfee Decks.
Oh, yes,
so are they behind?
It is McAfee Decks. I mean, Josh K says he came to me over 2 years ago with this concept. I mean, listen, if I'm going to do a DEX, I'm not doing it by myself. And if I can pick up something which is good in this process, and isn't that smart? I was said before, and I'm a terrible programmer anymore. I used to be the best, but why bother? So I've been watching and I'm working with Josh, and finally I said, Josh, okay, we've got to have a DEX. The world's got to have a DEX. You've got the best. Do you want to partner with me or not? And he said, yes. So I said, do you have any pride in the name? He said, no. Good. We're going to call it McAfee Decks. That's cool. And it's here, people. We charge no maker fees and only 0.25% of taker fees, which we all know is not even going to fund our maintenance, let alone our development, and yet it's got to be done, and we're doing it. This is my gift. Do it as you will. The government will definitely make it illegal to use McAfee Decks, but they can't shut it down, and they can't know who's using it if you have any common sense whatsoever. It's yours.
Interesting. And I know you've mentioned that Tron is supposed to be added, and actually, thank you. I know you've mentioned that I was the first one to do a tutorial on McAfee Decks not too long ago when you listed it, but it was actually the second guy.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was actually the second guy. The first person was a lady. She did it in Spanish, actually, but I was the first one in English. And actually, you did say that you've listed Tron, and I actually had a look at McAfee Decks. I was expecting to see Tron there, and if I go to the different pairings, I can see Tron is there, but I can't, I don't get a pop-up asking me to log in with the wallet.
Okay, what are you using? What wallet are you using? You need to use. I'm sorry. I'm not a technical specialist, but there's a little app that you need to download in order to use Tron. So go to. I don't know. Let me find out.
It's a browser. It's a browser-based Tron wallet, right?
Yeah. Yes,
okay, so like MetaMask for Ethereum. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That must be the reason. And I was expecting to actually be requested it or something, like you've got for Ethereum.
Yeah, but before we're finished, we will, again, this is a beta. Before we finish, we will flesh out all of these little, oh my God, have to use this now. I have to use that. We're just testing the concept. And the concept works. Okay.
Yeah.
With the production release, we will have the wallet. We will. Do not worry.
Perfect.
We will provide on it. We will have no control over it. It will be distributed as well, and the source will be open.
Sounds good. Now about the blockchains that you'll be adding. So I know you were saying that you're gonna add BNB as well. What about other blockchains, for example, Neo or Ontology? And also, if they want to get added, do they need to pay something?
No, of course not. No, you don't pay anything for people to add at all. We weren't even contacted by Tron, nor did we even contact them. We just put it in. No, we'll put them in. So by the end of the year, we will have EOS, Neo, and BNB. And we will continue to add. I can't tell you which ones will be in the production release, but it will certainly be the overwhelming majority by volume of points.
Wow. Sounds really good then. Okay, that's great. I was actually thinking that they need to pay a fee to actually list the blockchain, but not to list the tokens, like if they were a company.
Not even to listen. Listen, in fact, if you've got a blockchain out there, our source is open. All right.
Wow, that's good.
Grab the source, grab the and even the source of the smart contracts, which some independent party on their own audited for us after we put it out.
Nice.
Go there and you do it. If you want
anybody can do it. Now, what's the criteria? What are the requirements to get listed, as a blockchain? For example, if they want to reach out, how can they actually reach out to you? Okay,
you need to DM me on Twitter, official McAfee on Twitter, and that's the only channel I am bound to answer, just because I'm on Twitter a lot. Emails may take a few days. Any other channel, who knows? It's hit and miss.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. Now, the next thing I want to ask you is what happens. I know you were saying about it cannot be taken down and things like that, but what happens, for example, if let's say the FBI decide to shut down the website altogether, or some hacker or somebody that wants to cause you harm? How can you bring it back on?
Well, the website is a trivial. Keep in mind that the website is just one portal. We have over 30 different portals now. That's a portal called McAfeeDex.com. If you want to take it away from me, I mean, you can do it. It takes some time. Who cares? It's still up and running. Can't touch the blockchain. You can't take that down. And okay, I wasn't going to say this, but there are two companies now that are developing blockchain-based internet domains that can be taken away from you. End of fucking story. And so this is the beauty of the blockchain. The things you can do with it is just astonishing. Yeah. But domains that can't be taken down, can't be blocked, can't be stopped. And once they're on the blockchain, they're on the blockchain. And if you don't have the keys for that domain, well then, sorry, we're not
game over.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, about the user interface, some people that I've been talking to have been complaining about the user interface, saying that it's not really comparable to something like Binance or maybe Switch.io, for example. Are you planning to improve it on the final release?
Oh, of course. I mean, people, give us credit. In fact, we had one at all that you didn't have to use code to get into as a miracle. No, so of course we know it sucks, but it works. We're not trying to come out the door in a frilly dress and do a dance for you people. No, we've got some crude machinery in this blockchain-based distributed DEX, and we're making sure that the fucker is sound. And I apologize, we're not wearing the frilly dress. We're wearing overalls that workmen will use. But listen, when we come out with the real product, fuck yes, it's going to be great.
Nice. That's really good. And the other thing I wanted to ask is about the stop limit functionality. Is that going to be added? For example, I don't know if you're aware of it. It's basically when the price of a token or a coin goes down to a certain price or goes up to a certain price, you want to trigger in order to automatically sell it at X price. Will that functionality be added? Do you know?
I cannot say right now. We have so much shit we want to put in this because the potential power is so great. At the current time, no, it's going to be a very, very low priority for us. See, for me, the exchange is not about making money. It's about providing a tool to value. I mean, how did exchanges start? It used to be you took a pig to the market and you wanted some chickens, but you weren't sure exactly how much the pig was worth or the chickens are worth or how many chickens. And somebody only wants half of the pig or whatever. It's complicated. The barter system is complicated. Then someone came along 5,000 years ago and said, hey, look at this. I'm going to stamp this worthless piece of metal with a head on it. And since nobody around here has the technology to do that stamp except for me, and I'm emperor, then I don't have to worry. And so we're going to make this thing worth, one stamp is one chicken. And it's 1/20th of a pig. And on. And so what happened? That's the exchange. That is the medium of exchange. You see? Only now it's not just we're exchanging pigs for chickens. We're exchanging one functional token for another, which is an absolute necessity for cryptocurrency to flourish. And so this is the value. It's not so that we stop your losses. I mean, if you're using this fucking exchange to make money, then I'm sorry, you're on your own, and I hope you do. But no, if you're using this exchange because you are doing some business in cryptocurrency, you're selling something, or you're buying something, or you're starting something, or you anticipate this or that, and you go, okay, I tell you what, I've been spending everything in Monero, but I think the market's going down. You don't have to get out into cash anymore. You can use DAI if you want. the most stable of the stable coins, never more than 1 penny above or below the dollar. And some magic of mathematics and the smart contracts makes the fucker work. And so you don't even have to do that.
Yeah.
Get into and you can do that now. You can exchange your Ethereum for DAI right now if you want on the exchange, and it works. I promise you, it works. The contract's been audited. It's clear. Nobody's skimming anything. No, there's nothing devious in this. It's a gift, and it's to you. And I have time for one more question.
Yeah, sure. The final question is actually, I actually was going to ask you this question in the initial interview, but now that we're getting a chance to talk again, I'm going to ask you now. What is one thing in life that you truly desire?
Well, there are many things, I'm sorry, that I truly desire. Probably first and foremost, I desire to keep breathing for as long as possible, as long as my body and mind are sound. That'd have to be number one. Number two, keeping my wife happy. And number three, leaving for the people, not a legacy, but a tool. A tool. And it's part knowledge, learning, and it's part the tool itself, the distributed decks and other things I'm working on to give you guys tools to survive the onslaught that's coming. It's coming. Wake up, it is coming. And when it does, you need to be prepared, and you've got to have tools. The DEX is one. Privacy coins with different facilities, which I won't discuss yet, is another. And once you have these things, you're invincible, people. You might have fear that the government's going to break down your door because you're illegally using cryptocurrencies, which are not approved by the International Cryptocurrency Approval Committee, the regulatory body for deciding what cryptocurrencies are criminal and which are not. So, no, if you're afraid of that, don't be. I mean, if you've ever smoked weed, if you've ever driven faster than the speed limit, same type of crime. And the crime is so trivial that the real crime is the law against it, and that is income taxes. Why do governments give a shit about your money and where you spend it? They're trying to stop crime? No, they're trying to stop you from not paying to them what is due. You are serfs, like people in the 11th century with a potato field. You have 1,000 potatoes, and the king comes by and goes, I'm going to take 250 of those potatoes right now. Didn't matter that they were scheduled for your children's mouths, or you needed to sell some on the market to buy milk. No, it didn't matter. Do you think it's any different? Our government is doing that now. They're saying, you must work for us for this amount. We're taking what we want from you.
Yeah.
No, sir. Don't be afraid of laws based on that premise. And thank you so much for having me on here.
Thank you very much for joining. Okay, that was great. And I hope to see you again in the future when we'll be talking about other subjects as well. Take care, John.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.